welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll start with a couple of announcements and we'll get into our IPAs today. By the way, if you do have IPs ready to go, we did challenge you yesterday. Have them ready, have them written. Feel free if you want to just hit your hand raise button on your Zoom. If you do have something, just be in line. We'll get to you guys right away. Let me share a couple of things. Lindsay, what's going on? I hope you're feeling better as well too. And let me start with the tip of the spear, which is our DESTIN event. It is right around the corner, and it's going to be crazy. Every single day just gets more and more fun. And reminder, if you have a ticket or you have teammates that have a ticket and they're not in our chat room, we have a messenger group, be sure to let us know. We'll add them in there. And just a big congratulations. I'll update the post later on today as well too. But congrats to everybody that has gotten your ticket. It's going to get filled. I'm envisioning that we're going to double this by the time that we are there. And every day we're just going to get more and more people. And it's just going to be a fun party. Yesterday, I was hearing Becky. She got tapped on the shoulder to speak. She's going to be speaking with Haley Lee. If you don't know Haley, she's one of the top power rankers in the world as well too. Does anyone here struggle with time management and productivity? They're going to be talking about that, and they are incredible at that. So be sure to let us know. If you're not on the list, we want to make sure that you and your people are on the list, and we're going to be partying it up with all of these amazing people. One other announcement is tonight in all of our prospect groups, we're piloting. Cindy and Lindsay brought up a proposition, so I just honor them for their leadership. They said, we need an opportunity presentation. We're getting together and we're figuring it out. So we're piloting a presentation format that eventually we're going to have John, Darren, Katie be able to chime in on as well too. But we're going to be doing a business opportunity presentation. I'll ask Cindy and Lindsay, you guys, some ideas on this in just a bit. But we're going to be streaming this into the groups. It'll be a live, not a Zoom, just because of hackers, just in case. But you get people onto this, they will capture the vision of Partner Co. They will be excited partners, and they'll want to launch their business. So be sure to take advantage of that. And I will bring up on that and everything. And yes, and no worries, I got it. Yeah. So we also have a Breakfast of Champions call later on in just a bit. I'm going to be filling in today, and it'll be a fun one as well too. But Cindy and Lindsay, and I see Katie's hand. Awesome. Any thoughts on your guys' mind before we dive into income producing activities today and everything?
Oh my gosh, so much on my mind. You know, it's always so exciting when, I don't know if you guys have ever felt this in your business. I'm sure if you do this long enough, you'll feel this in your business, where you feel like things are moving slow, or you feel like you're having trouble, moving conversations forward or finding people to talk to. And then all of a sudden, if you just focus on getting the daily activities done, there's almost too much to even keep up with, right? It's just everything just kind of explodes at once. And sometimes when you're planting those seeds and you're doing the do and nothing seems to be happening, I can tell you that you'll reach a point in your business where everything just kind of explodes all at once, and you're like, there's so much to do and so many people to talk to, you almost don't even know where to start. And that is such a cool feeling. And that feeling and that result all comes from doing this tracker right here that you can kind of see. It's amazing. Anybody else feel that way? I saw Kathy felt that way in the chat.
Yes, for sure. Get into that and it'll get you into that motion. Lindsay, anything on your end? Oh, I need to be able to unmute you. That would help.
Yes, I completely agree. It is when we talk about the daily habits, it's really all it comes down to. So if you're sitting here and you're like, oh, I don't feel like, that's happening for me yet, I promise, get into these daily habits, do them every day, and they will build up, right? That's exactly what happens. It just builds over time. And then, like Cindy said, it just boom, all of a sudden it just starts raining customers and brand partners, and it's so much fun. So keep going. If you're doing this daily tracker every day and maybe you're sitting there, be honest with yourself. That is one thing that we are all here. That's why we come here together and have this support, is just be honest with yourself, right? Give yourself grace. If you look at that tracker and yesterday you're like, I didn't do it, right? I want what Cindy's talking about, right? I want that to happen, but I only did 2 of these yesterday. Give yourself grace, right? Do 3 today. Do 3. The whole point of this is I had a mentor tell me one time, you learn to win by winning. The whole point of this tracker is to do things on it, to check it off, to give yourself a win. Okay. So just start checking off those items and you will win.
Absolutely. All right, cool. So with that, let's dive into Miss Katie is up first. I love it. I love it. Let me make sure I can ask you to unmute. What's up, Katie?
Unmuted. All righty. Well, I didn't know I was going to raise my hand because I just got a message saying they ordered. So I'm like, oh my God, yay.
Yes.
And this person is somebody I didn't even know. They came from a message request. I don't even know where they saw my post. I have no idea. So I am curious to find that out, but I don't want to rock the boat. But they I don't know, guys. I'm just as stunned as ever right this second. But the tracker, I have not checked everything off the list. There's things I am doing consistently, like adding to stories. By the way, I don't think we've talked about notes. But if y'all aren't using notes, I think it's a great way to start conversations.
Notes. What do you mean by notes?
The notes in your profile, the little face that says put a note in.
Ah.
I've gotten some conversations from that.
What do you put in?
Well, like one of the notes was pineapple on your pizza, yes or no, was a suggestion from Facebook. I'm like, okay, I like that one. Or how much protein do you get in? And I've had people answer me on both of those. What was another one? Oh, I can't remember, but I mean, there are a few people that respond to that. So I would suggest that. I'm not an expert, obviously. Cindy, Lindsay, y'all tell me if that's a good idea. James. But ask a really fun question on those notes. And let me see. I just keep doing the tracker and stay consistent. I have been, the only time I was not consistent was during Christmas break.
All good.
I didn't do my business post, but I did my lifestyle post just to keep out there. And right now, like Cindy was saying, I'm having people ask me questions on the drops, and things haven't been closed yet, but I know they will. I am going to get my 3 and free before we come to Destin.
It's happening. What I hear from you, Katie, is you're just doing the do. Who here, by the way, wants random message requests from people that say, I want to buy the drops, you know, and where they come from, right? And it's because of what you're doing, Katie. You're just doing the daily do and you're showing up and you're exposing yourself. So congratulations there. Lindsay?
You know what I love so much about you, Katie, is it's probably my favorite thing about you is you just do it. Like, just like James said, you just do it. And you're like, I'm just going to see if this works. And if it does, awesome. And if it doesn't, I will adjust my sales, right? And that is the whole point of being an entrepreneur. That's what we are all here. It's so much fun to just be able to, right? Like, how many of us have had jobs where it's like, this is the task, this is what you have to do, don't go outside of the lines, right? And then you get to be an entrepreneur where you're like, I get to like do what I want, right? And figure it out and see if this works and see if people, come to me or they like this. I love the notes idea. And, Katie, you are an expert, right? I know you said, I'm not the expert, Cindy and Lindsay are, but Katie, you are, because you're doing the thing, you're doing it messy, you're seeing if it works, then you're adjusting, then you're going back and doing it again. And look, people are coming to you and you're getting customers. That is the whole point of this. And so I love that so much about you. It's my favorite thing about you. And we can all absolutely learn from that. I will also say you said something of, I haven't asked the question because I don't want to rock the boat. Once they order from you, they're a customer, whatever, it's so great to really keep that connection with people and inquire. And you can just say something as simple as, hey, I'm just curious, what post caught your attention the most? Or where was it that you found me? That's exactly what James did with Cindy and I. Okay. So be wildly curious about people. Be wildly curious about what it is that they're doing. If you guys, that one note right there, if you're just wildly curious about people all the time and you're asking questions to them all the time, you will build massive connections, massive relationships, and your business will absolutely flourish. So, Katie, that was awesome. Thank you.
I want to
Love
say
it.
one more
Yeah.
thing that I think really helped, because I didn't know them, they poured their heart out to me, and their name was Alma. I had no idea if that was a male or female. So I did ask, are you a male? I apologize. Are you a male or female? And they said female. They told me their age, and they had gastric bypass surgery. So I went to Drop Revolution to see who had a post about that, tagged them in that, I put them in the Drop Revolution. I asked them to friend request me. Okay, let's do the steps. Asked them to friend request me, put them in the Drop Revolution, found gastric bypass. Thank God, Danielle Singh, is she on here? She had a great, I kept reading, and she had a great video that she referred somebody to. Found that video on your YouTube channel, James. There's a lot of pieces here, guys. I mean, you got to keep digging and learning. So I found your YouTube video, James, sent that to her, tagged her in gastric bypass, told her, take your time. I'm here to help. She ordered all those things. So just don't try to, I think the main thing is sometimes we just want it to happen, but we need to develop that trust. And I think that's what happened. So I'm done.
So
Sorry,
good.
somebody else shared. Thank you.
Gold. What I hear is an absolute tactician, knowing where all the tools are, adding them to your prospect group, tagging them onto a testimonial, knowing and being inquisitive, being interested, not interested, and then sharing something of benefit. Who here would love to get signed up by Katie, by the way? You can tell she takes care of her people. She loves her people, right? So congratulations there. I do want to show real quick, Katie. It's a really cool tip. That note feature, I see some questions there. Let me show you where to find that. So if you go to, for me, I see it on my messenger on my phone. So this is where I'm at. And if you see on the very top, it says post a note. You can do this on Instagram as well too. I actually never thought about that. That's the tip I'm going to do. So you can click on this and you can do something quick. So it sounds like an engagement question is good. Let me see. I'll just say, do you drink coffee or tea? Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Boom. So you share that. And I love that. So thanks for sharing that, Katie. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Tons of golden nuggets. Perfect. Other IPAs, feel free to raise your hand and share. I'm telling you, you guys all have genius. We just want to hear that. Cindy, anything on your mind from that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, her whole process was so well executed. I mean, just from start to beginning. And I love this notes tip. And it's funny, Katie, because you said, I don't know if I'm doing it right, Cindy or Lindsay. And I'm like, heck yeah, you're doing it right. Why? Because you're starting conversation. Any way that you can get into conversation about anything can eventually lead to a friendship, a relationship. Maybe it has to do with business. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it leads to the product, which I did see a question from Pam. We can absolutely go over the goals portion of the tracker. All of those steps, that's exactly what I was talking about when I first jumped on, of you're doing all of these things and you're planting all of these seeds, then all of a sudden everything just explodes, right? And that's exactly what I see happening for Katie. She's doing the do, she's planting these seeds, she's starting conversations about pineapple on pizza, you guys. It's social media. You can have fun with this. It doesn't need to all be so serious. It doesn't all need to revolve around the drops. Just getting into conversation can lead to the conversation. Okay. So I just think that was so well executed. And then going to the customer group and finding something that's specific to that person for that third party validation. It was just so good. And I'm so happy for you.
Gold. Charmaine put in the tips too. If you need prompts, if you need engagement questions to put on notes or your social media, ask ChatGPT. 100%. Super smart on that. Cindy, Lindsay, let's go over the goals first, and then I'll go to Eric after that as well.
Perfect.
So how do these work? I'll pull this up here. On the bottom, we're talking about these goals.
Yes. All right. So the very first one says number of product invites, 2 a day. These are things to aim for, right? This can be done in so many different ways. It can be done in follow-up, right? You're following up with people who never purchased. I would say that that's a product invite. You can put up a post, anybody that you're getting into conversation with people and you're exposing them to that product in Messenger. I would say that counts. I would say that when you start 10 new conversations and you have that back and forth exchange, I like to use ChatGPT to help me transition the conversation. You could transition an opening conversation to the product. The goal is just to make sure that you're exposing 2 new people every single day to the product. Okay. So that's what we mean by that. That would be 14. That would mean that you're exposing 14 people a week to the product. Now, is it outcome related? No, it's action. It's action-based because we know that the action is going to lead to the income, right? Then obviously number of new customers is pretty clear. We aim for 3 a week. Number of business invites is very much the same as the product invites. You're following up with people, you're starting new conversations and transitioning that conversation to the business. The goal 2 a day feels doable, right? You're like, I can do 2 a day, right? Which means you're talking to 4 people total, 2 about the product, 2 about the business. Number of new brand partners is pretty clear. Number of new friends, I think, is pretty clear. We did a lot of training on how to add new friends yesterday. Number of new conversations. Is the actual number daily or cumulative? Both. Both. Really good question. It's both. So the idea is that in each column, yes, right there, in each column, you would put a 2, right? If you get into 2 conversations with people, you would put a 2 on Monday, a 2 on Tuesday. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's a really good question, Pam. I see that. I would tally it every day and then put your weekly somewhere in there. We could be more clear about that. I would tally it daily and then come up with your weekly totals for sure.
It does say my weekly business results.
So,
yeah.
It's weekly on the bottom. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. So to clarify, Cindy, with an invite, if I were to ask Eric, hey, do you want to take a look at my product? Are you counting that as an invite? Or is it that they say, I want, or are they saying, I want to see your product?
In my opinion, it's both. It's both, because if you're putting up your daily posts, you're getting in your stories and it's causing them to get into conversation with you about the product and this may vary across the board. Lindsay may feel differently. James may feel differently. You may feel differently depending on where you sit on the spectrum of all of this, right? But I would say if you are getting into conversation with 2 people a day about your product, I would consider that a win, no matter where they're coming from, whether you're proactively reaching out or you're using attraction marketing effectively. I would say both.
Yeah. Lindsay, agreement?
Yeah, the whole goal is to have something that you feel like you can measure, right? You're going through this tracker and you want to be able to have some kind of goal, right? So that then you can go and say, okay, I reached out to 2 people a day, you know, and when I talk about measuring, this is, I mean, we always say 90 days. You want to look at your day, your business as a 90-day, like what has happened over 90 days of me doing this tracker for 90 days, looking back and really being able to measure it and say, I talked to 2 people a day for 90 days. Here were my results, right? This week I got 1 customer. This next week I got 4. The next week I got 0. The next week I got 5, right? You're going to start to see an average of when I talk to 2 people a day, this is what happens. And what we want to grow, we have to measure. And so it's really important that, this bottom piece here is when we talk about your weekly results, guys, honestly, that one that's the most important to me in that whole entire thing is that one that says number of new conversations. If you focus on that, okay, and again, we can get super like analytical and we can, okay, are we asking this or is it that? If you're like, my focus is to get in 10 conversations a day with people, I can promise you 2 people are going to talk to you about the business and 2 people are going to talk to you about the products. If that is your goal, that is what the outcome will be, right? But like Cindy said, it's about the action. So for me, it's like, I'm really focused on that one, that 10 people a day. So 70 new conversations a week. And then all of a sudden you're going to be able to say, oh my gosh, yep, 2 a day. When I look at that, we were talking about product, or 2 a day. When I look at that, we were talking about business. So again, all of these pieces kind of flow together. But if you're really, really breaking it down, it's if you focus on that goal of, my goal is to at least talk to someone about the product twice in a day and at least talk to somebody about the business twice in a day, and your business will absolutely skyrocket. So again, this is weekly, right? You really are wanting to measure this weekly down there. But I think it was, I don't remember what day, but Cindy, you talked about writing the names down, right? So
yeah,
putting down anybody that you're talking to. It's super important. And I think Cindy and I can do a training too on this notebook method for you guys, where we really dive into how you're writing every single person's name down, how you're moving them, right? Moving them from conversation to talking about business, conversation to talking about product. I think that we'll do that training for you guys as well.
Ooh, can't wait. Awesome.
Did you guys, I'm always picking up on one-liners. Lindsay said a one-liner that I literally wrote down, and it's so good. She said, what we want to grow, we have to measure. That is so important and powerful. I've never heard you say that, Lindsay. I wrote it down. And that's exactly what we're doing with these trackers, right? In order to improve our batting averages, we have to know what our starting batting average even is, right? And what you're going to find if you did this for a long period of time, what you're going to find is that your results are going to improve. Meaning right now, if you get into conversation with 5 people or 10 people about the business, let's say one person signs, right? Let's say you get 1 out of 10. What you're going to find is that the longer you do this, all of a sudden you're going to start getting 2 out of 10, maybe even 3 out of 10, right? Because you are going to grow and evolve throughout this process. But we want to grow, we have to measure. I love that so much. I just had to pull it out.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so many nuggets. I'll pull up Eric, and then after that, keep on raising your hands if you have other IPAs. Cindy, Lindsay, I do want to ask you guys some tips today on how you would promote a call, like our opportunity calls will too. So in a bit. But Mr. Eric, I don't know. I gotta say, like, hair game's on point. Like, people say my hair is cool, but your hair, next level, man.
I always think in the morning, do I go up? Do I go over? So I am so excited, guys. I cannot, I've been chomping at the bit the whole time I've been talking, taking notes like crazy, because every one of these speakers has been hitting the nail on the head this morning. I don't even know where to begin, but when I was listening to the Breakfast of Champions call the other morning about changing your mindset, it really puts things in a different light. I even was looking at the IPA tracker sheet, and it's like, okay, you have limited time, you have limited resources. How are you going to be the most productive with your time and what you have to offer? And I started looking at this, and Lindsay, you were talking about priority. And so as I was looking at my list, I thought, okay, income producing activity. And it just popped in my head. You said, we're here to have conversations. So I changed my PIA to a CHA, conversation having activity. So I am doing the cha-cha all day long. Okay. Now, this was exciting. Yesterday, 2 or 3 conversations that I had that just blew me away was the first one. I was talking to this woman, and she asked me 2 weeks ago about the product. I started telling her, I sent her some of the board's messages. And then she went into the fact that she's a 75-year-old widow, and she has to go to a Chihuahua meeting at 10 o'clock and then come home and take a nap. So it was days of texting back and forth, trying to keep this under control, trying to be productive. And then finally she told me that she just could not afford it now, and her days were numbered anyway, and God knew when he was going to bring her home. So it opened up a whole opportunity to talk about faith, to talk about health. You have to look for those opportunities to jump in and make conversation. So at the end of the day, she was saying, I just can't afford this. This is 1/10 of my monthly income. And she said, I can't make a commitment. I can't do a subscription. I said, well, perhaps you would just like to try it 1 month, then you'll know if it works. Long story short, she went on yesterday. I know she watched the video. She's getting the education, and she continues to come back. So I know that she's on the hook. It's just a matter of her timing. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here when you get ready. The very next conversation I had was with a woman that, ironically, of course, I stalked her page before I got into conversation with her. And I saw that she was actually from the same town that I moved from 25 years ago. But she's probably only 24 years old, so I knew that I wouldn't possibly know her. Long story short, she said that she's been watching me for the last 3 months. She and her husband are morbidly obese. They were both excited about it. And she said that she's been watching me since the beginning and wanted to see if I was going to prove that the product worked. So being a product of the product was the first thing that got their attention. And it gave me an idea. I thought, okay, think out of the box. I went back to the very beginning when I made my very first post and felt like a Martian. I mean, I'm going on the scavenger hunt trying to find information. I didn't know what a board was. I was completely lost. But I went back and started going over all of the likes and comments and everything that I missed from the very beginning. They've been in your face, hungry for information, hungry for a product, hungry to get results. But I wasn't seeing it because I'm just trying to get my head around the whole mass of this great company. So anyway, I've always tried to pour in positivity and faith in my business, and that makes it fun. And I thought, this is going to be an adventure. So if you've gone to my Instagram, or if you've gone to my Facebook page, you'll know that I'm an absolute nut. I'm going to laugh or I'm not going to live. That's just how it is. So anyway, think about doing the cha-cha, conversation, having action all day long. And it doesn't matter what the conversation is. Just get it started. And back to what Lindsay said about the priorities. If I'm going down my list and I'm trying to check off 5 minutes of networking and 10 minutes of social sandwich and that sort of thing, is that my priority? I need to do it, but my priority is to do the cha-cha. So get done what needs to be done to have those conversations, and it will come to you. Oh, and come to find out, the woman that she and her husband are both morbidly obese, found out she is my long second or third cousin. So it was mind-blowing. But anyway, I had 3 people yesterday that were very positive, that they were ready to sign up as, you know, to get the subscription. And then I had 1 that's actually coming to the salon today to buy products. So it's just excited. Awesome.
Come on.
You guys drop a 1 in the comments if you're ready to like sign up with Eric right now. His energy is just up here. And so often, how you talk to people and the belief and the passion and the excitement and the joy that just exudes from you, they don't even know what you're selling. They just are buying into you. And Eric, I feel that with you so much. And there's such a lesson in that. And it's not necessarily what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. And you just do that so beautifully. And I just want to cha-cha with you all day, every day.
Yes.
One more thing that was amazing on when I asked the lady, I asked, was there a particular post that she saw? And she gave it to me. I went back and looked at that post. I reposted that post yesterday, and the views in about 12 hours went from 4 views to 360. So keep on plowing.
All right. You said so many things. You said huge tips, Eric. Okay. First, before I even talk about those tips, who's ready to cha-cha all over Destin with Eric? We're going to be on the dance floor. We are going to party the whole time. I seriously cannot wait. Like Cindy said, your energy is so contagious. Please sit next to us at the event because we are going to have the most incredible time. So if you want to sit next to Eric, raise your hand because we're going to be dancing, sitting next to you, having fun. I mean, this is going to be the most incredible event. I am so excited you're going to be there. All right. So tips, huge tips to pull out. You go back to all of your posts. Today, you guys, go back to any post you've made, whether you've been here 5 minutes or you've been here, 5 years. Go back to every post, write down the names of your likes, write down the names of any comments that you may have missed. Likes are crucial. They're crucial. That's somebody liking it and saying, I'm sitting back over here for you to have a conversation with me, but I'm scared to start it myself. All right. Your business it's important to you, right? They're moving on with their day. They're moving on with their life, but they saw it, they liked it, and then life got busy for them. So write down all of those names and go back and do the cha-cha with them. Okay. Start that conversation. And then another thing you said was reposting content. I am if you guys follow me for any amount of time, I repost content all day, every day, right? It's the same that you have new eyeballs on you because you're adding new friends to your network, because you're starting new conversations with people every single day. Those people have not seen any of your stuff. Social media does not show those people anything until you start to have those conversations with them and you tell social media that it's time for them to see your stuff. You got to work this thing, right? So repost your content. It doesn't have to be, what do I come up with today? Just post something you posted a couple months ago. No big deal. Repost it, right? Eric, those were 2 like gold $1 million nuggets. So you are freaking awesome. I just love you. Like every day I talk to you, I freaking love you more and more.
Last note for Eric, that cha-cha, no joke, that is a keynote speech that'll take you around the stages around the world that you'll train on PXP. You'll train outside of partner co. So I'd really encourage you, start diving into that. Really, really make that your own thing, because that is powerful. That is like literally the thing right there. So
yeah, everyone will think of you from now on. Everyone will be like, okay, Eric, cha-cha, like that is yours. Mm-hmm. So I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Congrats, Eric. Thanks for sharing, man. Oh, man. Who here just wants to start talking to people now, right? I want to start talking to people. Elaine, what's going on? Great to see you.
Hey, so Eric, I just had a question. So when you say repost the same post, because I have a post that has like 300,000 views and I want to repost that and not have to redo the content. How do I do that?
There's several ways you could, if it's a screenshot that you could take and then possibly post or copy and paste your information, or what I do a lot of times is we'll cross from different platforms to another.
And I think
Okay.
just to chime in on this, Elaine, this is an Instagram reel.
Yeah.
So the best way is there's a free app called a Repost. It's a purple one. There's a paid one. Don't use that, but it's a purple one. So Repost, I do this all the time. Like it's so simple. And you just copy the link, you put it into this app. It just downloads both the video and it downloads the caption too. So you can download your own and then just repost it itself like that.
Okay. Does it download the music too, or just
It will download the music. So what you might want to do is you might want to put on a trending audio on top of that. And then, when you make a reel, you can slide down the original volume. So you can make that 0, and then you can have the new audio on top of that.
Got it. Thank you.
You got it. Pro tips. Love it. All right, cool. So Cindy, Lindsay, I want to ask you guys, because we all want to explode our partners. By the way, question for everyone. Who here feels that what we all have here on a business aspect in terms of the training, the coaching, the support, the systems and everything is the best, bar none? Give me a wave or put a me in the comments below. And we're in the best company on the planet. This is the best kept secret that no one knows about yet. And we need to get louder and louder and louder about sharing this opportunity with other people and casting the vision. So Cindy and Lindsay, we put this together. What are some tips that you would give to us on how to drive a call like this and get business opportunity prospects?
I've got a couple ideas, and they're probably a lot in line with the way Lindsay's thinking right now, because we share a brain, right?
Yeah.
I think always the personal invite is going to absolutely far surpass anything that you throw up onto social media, and hope that the right people see it at the right time and the right moment when they're not busy, when they're not scrolling, really getting into people's inboxes. You guys, if you've been doing this tracker for even a few days, you have people that you are in conversation with. If you've been doing this business for any short period of time, you have posts that you can go back to. Anybody who so much as put a thumbs up or commented, any customer that you've sold to and is enjoying their product. I mean, there are so many people that all of us could go and send a message to invite them to this. And I know that Lindsay's probably going to agree with that, but I don't want to take the words out of her mouth. Lindsay?
Absolutely. It's the best way. It's the best follow-up, right? So the whole point of this business is continuing to follow up. Did you guys know it takes 7 to 10 exposures for someone to say yes to the product and yes to the opportunity? So your whole goal is to have another tool to be able to go to every single person that is in your funnel, right? The people that you're talking to. You want to have a tool to go to them and say, hey, Cindy, I know that you've been, thinking about this product. I know you've been thinking about, what we're doing over here at Partner Co. We have this great, my brain is not, what are we having? What presentation? We have this great presentation that's happening tonight. And I would love for you to jump on. You can just be a fly on the wall, right? It's live. You could just check it out. I'll send that information over to you. And then I would love to hear what you like best about it, right? So just reach out to people personally, asking them to come check it out. I will tell you, if you are nervous about doing this, don't do it. But I love to send a great voice clip, just like I said. So it's really warm, just like that. You don't have to. You can write it out either way, right? Emojis always help soften it up a little bit. But a great voice clip, just like I just said. And then you can send that, right? Send that same voice clip out to all of your people. It's really, really crucial to invite them personally, because just like Cindy said, if you guys just go put a post up on your Facebook wall, it kind of will fall flat. Now, what I would say is you could go and do a post that says something like, maybe it's a picture of you, or maybe I'm thinking, of those of you that are doing before and after photos. And you can say something like, if this is something that you want to hear more about, drop info below, or drop, and then you can go invite people, right? So instead of just putting the flyer up, I would recommend bringing people in on something else that would capture their attention, like a before and after photo. Maybe it's even just a picture of yourself, but you're asking them, hey, we've got a whole lot of great things going on with our product, with our company. If it's something that you would like to hear about, drop info below, and I can send over something special we're doing tonight. Cindy, do you have some verbiage there for that?
Yeah, so it's so funny because that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, personal invites always number one, right? The following up with people, getting in people's inboxes, making it special to them, right? Why they want to be there. But I would encourage you that if you make a post, I want you to think back to that day that we all did the surge post, right? What were two elements that we had in place that caused these to move forward, right? We raised curiosity. Our goal is always to raise curiosity and lower resistance. Okay. Lower resistance, raise curiosity. So when you go out and you just blast a flyer, number one, it's going to increase the odds of getting hacked, right? I do not recommend putting the flyer out in public. I would reserve that for private groups. It's not foolproof, but it helps. But the goal with marketing is always to raise that curiosity, right? So I wouldn't put all the details out there. I wouldn't put everything front and center. The goal is to what? Is to cha-cha, right? Our goal is to get into conversation so that we can lead to the invitation. Okay. The goal is to get into conversation to lead to the invitation. Okay, so as you're creating, if you're going to put a post up today, I would absolutely try to have those two goals into place. Will this raise curiosity? Will it lower resistance? And will it get me into conversation? Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to get one more thing, guys. Get people into the groups. Your goal today is to put up posts that are going to drive people to the groups, right? Maybe you're doing before and after photos today. Maybe you're doing something about lifestyle, but you're saying, hey, if you want to know more about what we're doing, hey, if you want to see more testimonials just like this, thousands of testimonials, drop group below.
Yes.
And I will add you. You get people into the group, and then you tag them on the presentation post inside the group. Hey, we have this great thing tonight. Come check it out, right? The goal is move them into the group. That's where the presentation is, or also your stories, right? You can do this all day long in your stories, whether you're talking in your stories or doing a post again. Say, want to see thousands of testimonials just like this? Drop group or message me group, and I'll add you. Once they're in the group, you can tag them on the post and say, hey, we have this tonight. Would love for you to see it. Don't forget Eric's tips. All of your likes on any posts in the past, all of your comments on any posts in the past, those people are raising their hand, waiting for you to say, hey, we have this amazing event happening tonight. Would love for you to come check it out and be a fly on the wall.
Pro tips. Love it. Guys, who here is prepared to drive tonight and cha-cha all the way? Wave or put a cha-cha in the chat below. Fantastic. Tons of amazing insight today. Thank you, Cindy, Lindsay, every single one of you that shared as well too. Let's close with a prayer, and then we got our BOC that I'm going to come up with a topic with in 5 minutes, and it's going to be amazing. So, I know, right? But hey, dear Father God, we're just so thankful. We know that you're working everything out for our good. We know that even the things that seem like they were delays, denials, whatever that it is, that you're turning it around today, and that we're seeing the light at the end of that tunnel. I see seeds that are already sprouting from every single act of faith and obedience that has been putting into this organization. And I know that because we put you first, you're blessing every single thing that's happening in every single one of our amazing partners' lives. So today, just have them have the peace of God that transcends understanding, have it follow them this entire day with every single circumstance. And as we move forward together as one, just open up doors that people would never have imagined before. I just pray and I agree that miracles, signs, and wonders are happening today in every single person's life. And then when they sow a seed, that there's a miraculous reception of harvest that comes from that because they're in this collective. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Hi, everybody. Feel free to unmute yourself.